I never thought I'd see Jennifer again, especially not at a Walmart in suburban Texas on a random Thursday afternoon. But there she was, standing near the produce section with her phone already pointed at me like I was some kind of circus act. I guess I couldn't blame her. My jeans had a tear at the knee, my shirt was stained with motor oil, and my work boots were caked in dried mud. I looked exactly like the failure she always said I'd become. It had been 3 years since our divorce. 3 years since she walked out of our small apartment in Austin with her new boyfriend, Marcus, a real estate developer who drove a Mercedes and wore watches that cost more than my annual salary. 3 years since she told me I'd never amount to anything, that I was too comfortable being mediocre, that she deserved better than a guy who fixed cars for a living. She wasn't wrong about what I did. I was a mechanic. Still am. But what she didn't know, what she couldn't see past her designer sunglasses and her perfectly manicured nails, was that I'd actually built something. Something real. I was pushing a shopping cart filled with cheap snacks, energy drinks, and a few frozen pizzas. Bachelor food, she'd probably think. Evidence of my continued downward spiral. I could see her smirking as she zoomed in with her phone camera, probably already composing the caption for her Instagram story. Something cruel and witty that her 12,000 followers would eat up. That's when Emma appeared beside me. She came running from the toy aisle, her sneakers squeaking on the linoleum floor, her dark hair bouncing in 2 pigtails. She was holding a stuffed dinosaur, her eyes bright with the kind of pure joy that only a 7-year-old can manufacture over a $12 plush toy. "Uncle Jake, can I get this one? Please? I'll take super good care of it, I promise." I smiled down at her, feeling that familiar warmth that came with being her favorite uncle. Emma was my older brother David's daughter, and since his wife passed away 2 years ago from cancer, I'd been helping out as much as I could. David worked double shifts as a nurse at Del Seaton Medical Center, and someone needed to pick Emma up from school, help with homework, make sure she ate something other than cereal for dinner. "Yeah, kiddo, we can get it. But you've already got about 50 stuffed animals at home." "But this one is special," she insisted, hugging the dinosaur to her chest. "This one is a paleontologist dinosaur. See? It has glasses and a little notebook." I laughed, tossing the toy into the cart. "You make a compelling argument, Dr. Emma." She giggled and grabbed my hand as we continued down the aisle. I'd almost forgotten about Jennifer until I heard her voice, sharp and familiar, cutting through the ambient noise of the store. Well. Jake Morrison. Still shopping at Walmart, I see." I turned to face her. She looked exactly the same. Blonde highlights, expensive athleisure wear, that expression of permanent mild disappointment. Her phone was still in her hand, recording. "Jennifer," I said evenly, "didn't expect to see you here. Thought you only shopped at Whole Foods." She laughed, but it was cold. "I'm slumming it today. Needed to pick up some things for the lake house." Her eyes traveled down to my clothes, lingering on the ripped jeans and stained shirt. "Looks like you're doing well for yourself." Emma squeezed my hand tighter. I could feel her confusion, her discomfort. She'd heard me mention Jennifer before, usually in conversations with David about how grateful I was the marriage ended before we had kids. "Who's this?" Jennifer asked, her eyes narrowing at Emma. "Babysitting now? That's sweet. Really maximizing that high school diploma." The venom in her voice made something tighten in my chest. I'd dealt with her condescension throughout our 5-year marriage, but I'd be damned if I let her talk like that in front of Emma. "This is Emma," I said quietly. "My niece. We're picking up supplies for her science project." "How adorable," Jennifer said, her smile not reaching her eyes. "Playing house with someone else's kid because you'll never have your own." She tilted her phone slightly, making sure she was getting a good angle. "Marcus is waiting in the car. We just bought our 3rd property in Westlake Hills. Investment purposes. You probably don't know much about real estate investing." Emma tugged on my sleeve. "Uncle Jake, can we go now?" "Yeah, sweetheart, we can." I looked at Jennifer one more time. "Good seeing you, Jen. Enjoy the lake house." I started to push the cart away when Jennifer called out, loud enough for other shoppers to hear. "Still fixing cars, Jake? Still coming home covered in grease? Some things never change." I stopped, took a breath. Emma was looking up at me with worried eyes. Some things do change, I said without turning around. Some things get better. We walked away, and I could still feel Jennifer's camera on my back, recording my retreat, probably already drafting her social media post about her pathetic ex-husband. But what she didn't know, what she couldn't possibly know, was that everything was about to change. The encounter with Jennifer rattled me more than I wanted to admit. That night, after I dropped Emma back home and helped her glue together her solar system project, I sat alone in my apartment staring at my phone. I knew what I'd find, but I looked anyway. There it was. Jennifer's Instagram story, a video of me in Walmart, zoomed in on my ripped jeans and oil-stained shirt. The caption read, "Ran into the ex today. Some people really do peak in high school. Living his best life at Walmart LOL. 3,000 views already. Hundreds of laughing emojis in the replies. My phone buzzed. It was David. Dude, you seeing this? Sarah just sent me Jennifer's post. What a piece of work. Yeah, I'm seeing it, I typed back. Whatever. Let her have her moment. But it wasn't whatever. It stung. Because part of me wondered if she was right. I was 32 years old, living in a one-bedroom apartment, working 60-hour weeks at Morrison Auto Repair, the shop my dad left me when he retired to Florida. I had grease permanently embedded under my fingernails. My savings account had exactly $8,000 in it. My newest possession was a 12-year-old Ford F-150 with 180,000 miles on it. Meanwhile, Jennifer was living in a modern mansion in Westlake Hills with a man who wore suits that cost more than my monthly rent. The next morning, I woke up to more notifications. Jennifer had posted a follow-up. A photo of her and Marcus on their boat at Lake Travis, champagne glasses raised, with the caption, "Grateful for upgrades in every area of life. I almost called in sick to work. Almost stayed in bed and let the humiliation wash over me. But then I remembered Emma's science project was due Monday, and I'd promised to help her practice her presentation over the weekend. At the shop, my best friend and head mechanic, Carlos, noticed something was off immediately. You good, boss? You've been staring at that transmission for 10 minutes without touching it. I'm fine, just tired." He wiped his hands on a rag and leaned against the workbench. "This about that Instagram thing? My girlfriend showed me. Your ex is trash, man. Always has been." I shrugged. "She's not wrong though. Look at me. Look at this place." Carlos glanced around the shop. For bays all full. A waiting list of customers that stretched 2 weeks out. A reputation for honest work and fair prices that had people driving from all over Austin. "You built this," he said firmly. "Your dad had 2 bays and barely made rent. You tripled the business. You employ 6 people. You're putting Emma through gymnastics and piano lessons because your brother can't afford it. So Jennifer drives a nice car. So what? She's miserable. That's why she's posting about you." "Maybe," I said quietly. But deep down, I wondered if Carlos was just being kind. If maybe Jennifer had won after all. Friday afternoon, everything shifted. I was under a Honda Civic, replacing a worn-out catalytic converter, when Carlos rolled over on his creeper and tapped my boot. "Boss, there's someone here to see you. Says it's important." I slid out from under the car, wiping my hands on my already filthy coveralls. A woman in a sharp gray suit stood in the lobby, looking completely out of place among the tire displays and motor oil bottles. She was maybe 50, with silver hair pulled back in a tight bun, and she carried a leather briefcase that probably cost more than most of the cars in our lot. "Jake Morrison?" she asked, extending her hand. "That's me. What can I do for you?" "My name is Patricia Hendricks. I'm a senior acquisitions consultant with AutoNation. I've been trying to reach you for 3 weeks, but you never returned my calls." I vaguely remembered seeing some corporate-sounding voicemails that I'd assumed were spam. "Yeah, sorry about that. We've been slammed here." She smiled slightly. "I can see that. Mr. Morrison, I'm going to be direct with you. AutoNation has been monitoring independent shops in the Austin area for potential acquisition. Your shop has caught our attention. Your customer retention rate is 93%. Your online reviews average 4.8 stars across 2,000 reviews. You've grown revenue by 40% year over year for 3 consecutive years. We want to buy Morrison Auto Repair." I blinked. You want to what? We're prepared to offer you $3.2 million for the business, the property, and your brand. We'd keep you on as regional manager at a salary of $200,000 annually, plus benefits and profit sharing. Your staff would all retain their positions with raises. The words hit me like a physical force. $3.2 million. I'd bought this property for $300,000 6 years ago with a loan I was still paying off. If you're worried about your team or what happens next, you've got my word. Listen, I know this is sudden, but I need an answer within 2 weeks. We're looking at other shops too, but Morrison is our first choice. She handed me a folder thick with documents and her business card. Think it over, Mr. Morrison. You've built something extraordinary here. It's time you got recognized for it. After she left, I just stood there holding the folder. Carlos walked over, eyes wide. Did she just say 3 million? 3.2. Holy. If you're watching this story and rooting for the underdog, hit that subscribe button right now. Because what happens next? You won't believe it. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept thinking about Jennifer's laugh. Her phone pointed at me like I was a punchline. I thought about Emma, about David working doubles, about my 6 employees who trusted me to keep the lights on. And I thought about what $3 million could actually mean. I didn't tell anyone at first. Not David, not Carlos, not even Emma when she asked why I seemed distracted during our Saturday morning pancake tradition. I just carried that folder around like it was burning a hole through my truck's passenger seat. Monday morning, I called Patricia Hendricks. I need to understand something. Why my shop? There are bigger operations in Austin. Her response was immediate. Bigger doesn't mean better, Mr. Morrison. We've done our research. You have something most shops don't. Loyalty. Your customers come back because they trust you. Your employees stay because you treat them fairly. You've never cut corners, never oversold services people don't need. In this industry, that's rare. That's valuable. I took a breath. What's the timeline if I say yes? 30 days to close. 60 days for full transition. You'd start your new role immediately after. And my team? Carlos would become shop manager with a 30% raise. Everyone else gets bumps too. We need good people, Jake. We're not here to gut what you built. We're here to scale it. I spent the next week in a fog. I met with lawyers, accountants, financial advisors, people who used words like liquidity and equity and capital gains. The numbers were real. After taxes and paying off the property loan, I'd walk away with $2.4 million in my bank account. The kind of money Jennifer used to dream about when we were married. The kind of money she left me for. On Wednesday, I signed the papers. On Thursday, the wire transfer hit my account. I pulled up my banking app 3 times just to count the zeros. On Friday, I gathered my team and told them. Carlos cried. Actually cried. The raise meant he could finally afford the surgery his mom needed. Maria, our front desk manager, screamed so loud customers in the waiting room thought something was wrong. You did this, boss, Carlos said, gripping my shoulder. You changed all our lives. But the moment that mattered most came Saturday afternoon. I was at Target with Emma, helping her pick out new art supplies, when my phone buzzed. A text from a number I didn't recognize with a screenshot attached. It was Jennifer's Instagram story. Another video of me, this one from that same Walmart encounter, with a new caption, Update. Found out why my ex looked so rough. His little car shop is getting bought out and he's apparently coming into some money. Guess we'll see if he knows what to do with it, lol. Marcus says guys like him always blow it on trucks and bad investments. Emma noticed my expression. Uncle Jake, you okay? I looked down at her paint-stained fingers and her gap-toothed smile, and something clicked into place. Yeah, sweetheart. I'm better than okay. Because Jennifer was wrong about one thing. I knew exactly what I was going to do with that money, and she was about to find out. The first thing I did was set up a trust fund for Emma. $500,000, untouchable until she turned 18. College, whatever she wanted to study, wherever she wanted to go, fully paid for. When I told David, he sat down at his kitchen table and put his head in his hands. Jake, I can't accept this. You're not accepting anything. It's for Emma. She's the reason I kept going when Jennifer left. She's the reason I didn't give up. The second thing I did was pay off David's mortgage. All $73,000 of it. He tried to refuse that too, but I had the bank handle it directly. Done deal. The third thing surprised everyone, including myself. I bought the building next to my old shop, the one that had been vacant for 2 years. I partnered with a nonprofit and opened Morrison Skills Center, a free automotive training program for underprivileged kids in East Austin. Carlos signed on as head instructor. We teach them everything, help them get certified, get them jobs. No tuition, no catches. The local news picked it up. Then the Austin Chronicle. Then somehow it went regional. That's when Jennifer saw it. I was at the grand opening of the Skills Center, surrounded by 15 kids in brand new coveralls, their families, city council members, and reporters, when I saw her standing at the back of the crowd. No Marcus this time. No phone recording. Just her watching. After the ceremony, she approached me. She looked different. Smaller somehow. "Jake, can we talk?" I glanced at Emma, who was showing one of the younger kids how to properly hold a wrench. "Sure." We walked to the side of the building, away from the crowd. "I saw the news story," she said quietly. "What you're doing here, the trust fund for Emma, all of it." "I didn't know. You didn't ask." She flinched. "I was cruel. At Walmart, on Instagram, during our marriage. I was cruel because I was unhappy, and I took it out on you. I waited. Marcus and I broke up," she continued. "Turns out he was engaged to someone else the whole time. I found out 3 months ago." She looked at her hands. "I've been going to therapy, trying to figure out why I needed to tear you down to feel good about myself." "Jennifer, I appreciate you saying that. I do. But I didn't do any of this to prove something to you." "I know," she whispered. "That's what makes it worse. You did it because it's who you are, who you've always been, and I was too blind to see it." We stood there for a moment, the sounds of celebration behind us. "I forgive you," I said finally. "Not because you asked, but because I don't want to carry it anymore." Her eyes filled with tears. "Thank you." She left quietly, and I never posted about it. Never made a story. Never needed the world to know. Because the best revenge isn't making someone feel small. It's becoming so big they can't help but notice. 2 years later, I'm standing in the backyard of a house I never imagined I'd own. It's not a mansion in Westlake Hills. It's a 4-bedroom Craftsman in South Austin with a big oak tree and a workshop out back where I still tinker with engines on weekends because some habits you don't want to break. Emma is 14 now, taking advanced placement classes and talking about MIT. She still has that stuffed paleontologist dinosaur on her bed. David met someone, a teacher named Rebecca, who makes him laugh the way he used to before grief took over his life. They got married last spring, and I walked Emma down the aisle as the flower girl. Morrison Skills Center graduated its 5th class last month. 62 kids total have gone through the program. 58 of them are employed in the automotive industry, or opened their own shops. Carlos runs the whole operation now, and he's better at it than I ever was. I still work for AutoNation as regional manager, but honestly, most of my time goes to the nonprofit and a new project, a scholarship fund for single parents trying to get technical certifications. We've helped 37 people so far. Last week, I got an email from Jennifer. She's engaged again to a high school teacher in Dallas. She's working as a counselor at a community center, helping women leaving difficult relationships. She said therapy changed her life, helped her understand that hurting people was just her way of hiding her own pain. We're not friends. Probably never will be. But I'm glad she found her path. As for me, I met someone too. Her name is Claire. She's a veterinarian with dirt under her nails and a laugh that sounds like home. We met when she brought her ancient Subaru into the shop 3 years ago. She doesn't care about Instagram followers or lake houses or impressing strangers. She cares about rescued dogs and Sunday morning hikes and whether I remembered to eat lunch. I'm learning that happiness isn't about proving people wrong. It's about building a life so full of purpose that their opinions become background noise. Emma is in the kitchen right now helping Claire make homemade pizza. David and Rebecca are on their way over. Carlos is bringing his wife and kids. It's just a regular Saturday night. Nothing fancy, nothing worth posting about. But it's everything. If you made it to the end of the story, thank you for sticking with me. If it resonated with you, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Tell me about a time someone underestimated you, or share what comeback story you'd like to hear next. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button because I've got plenty more stories about people who turned their pain into purpose. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. Sometimes it's just living well,